The Hermit Thrush. This is a story from the Iroquois people. Long ago, the birds had no songs. Only man could sing, and every morning man would greet the rising sun with a song. The birds, as they were flying by, would often stop and listen to the beautiful songs of man. In their hearts they wished that they too could sing. One day the Good Spirit visited the earth, inspecting the various things that he had made. As he walked through the forest, he noticed that there was a strange silence. Something seemed to be missing. As the Good Spirit pondered, the sun sank behind the western hills. From the direction of the river, where there was an Indian village, there sounded the deep, rich tones of an Indian drum, followed by the sacred chanting of the sunset song. The song was pleasing to the ears of the Good Spirit. As he looked around, he noticed that the birds were also listening to the song. "That is what is missing," said the Good Spirit. "Birds should also have song." The next day, the Good Spirit called all the birds to the great council. From near and far they came. The sky was filled with flying birds. The trees and bushes bent to the earth under the weight of all the birds. On the great council rock sat the Good Spirit. He waited until all the birds had perched and became quiet. Then the Good Spirit spoke. He asked the birds if they would like to be able to sing songs like the people. With one accord, the birds all chirped, "Yes, yes." "Very well," said the Good Spirit. "Tomorrow, when the sun rises in the east, you are all to fly up in the sky. You are to fly as high as you can. When you can fly no higher, there you will find your song. The bird who flies the highest will have most beautiful song." Saying these words, the Good Spirit then vanished. The next morning, long before sunrise, the birds were all ready. There were birds everywhere. The earth was covered with them. There was great excitement. However, one little bird was very unhappy. He was the little brown thrush. Perched beside him was the great eagle. As the little bird gazed at the eagle, he thought, "What chance have I to compete with this great bird? I am so little. The eagle is so large and powerful. I will never be able to fly as high as he." As he was thus thinking, an idea entered his mind. "Eagle is so excited that he will not notice me." With this thought in mind, the little brown bird flew like a flash to the eagle's head and quickly hid under the eagle's feathers. The great eagle was so excited he did not even notice the little thrush. "With my great wings, I will surely win the most beautiful song," thought the eagle. The sun finally looked out over the eastern hill. With a great roar of wings, the birds took off. The air was full of flying birds. For a time the sky was dark. Their bodies covered the face of the sun. For a long time the birds flew upwards. Finally, the smaller, weaker birds began to tire. The little hummingbird was the first to tire. His little wings beat the air so hard that to this day one can, if one listens, hear his humming wings. His little squeaking calls say, "Wait, wait for me." It is a very plain song. The fat cowbird was the next to give up. As he floated down, he listened and heard his song, a very common sounding song. Other birds weakened, and while they were flying earthward, they listened and heard their own songs. At last the sun was at the end of the earth. The night sky began to darken the earth. By this time there were only a few birds left. There were the large, stronger winged birds, the eagle, hawk, owl, buzzard, and loon. All night the birds flew up, ever up. When the sun rose next morning, only the eagle, chief of all, was left. He was still going strong. When the earth was halfway up in the sky, he finally began to tire. With a look of triumph, for there were no other birds in sight, the tired eagle began to soar back earthwards. The little thrush, riding under the feathers of the great eagle, had been asleep all of this time. When the eagle started back to the earth, the little thrush awoke. He hopped off the eagle's head, and he began to fly upwards. The eagle saw him go and glared with anger, but he was powerless to stop him, as he was too exhausted. The little thrush flew up and up. He soon came to a hole in the sky. He found himself in a beautiful country, the happy hunting grounds. As he entered the spirit world, he heard a beautiful song. He stayed in heaven for a while, learning this song. When he had learned it completely, he left the land of happy spirits and flew back to the earth. He could hardly wait to show off his new song. As the thrush neared the earth, he glanced down at Council Rock. There sat all of the birds, and on the Council Rock, glaring up at him, was iroquois, the eagle. All the birds were silent as they waited for the thrush to light on the council ground. Suddenly, the feeling of glory left the little thrush. He felt ashamed. He knew he had cheated. He cheated just to get a beautiful song. He also feared the eagle, who might get even with him for stealing a free ride. He flew in silence to the deep woods, and in shame, with a dragging heart, he hid under the branches of the largest tree. He was so ashamed that he wanted no one to see him. Never does a hermit thrush come out into the open. He is still ashamed because he cheated. Sometimes, however, he cannot restrain himself, and he must sing his beautiful song. When he does this, the other birds cease their singing. Well they know that song of the hermit thrush, the song from heaven. It will make all their songs sound very weak. And that is why the hermit thrush is so shy. And that is why his song is the most beautiful song of all the birds. And that is why this spirit song causes the sun to shine in the hearts of the people who hear it as they go into the dark forest. The end. If you enjoyed this tale, please like and subscribe. Thank you.